Knowing how to lead and knowing what to say and what to do can be difficult. And if you're anybody who's looking to increase their leadership, be a leader worth following, then this is going to be the show for you today on the Everyday Leader. Hey guys, welcome to the Everyday Leader Live, where we're live every Friday at 5 without fail, because we'd love to pour into leadership into you to make you and help you become the leader worth following. Guys, so grateful for you to be here. In the comments, let me know where you're from, what's going on, and how you're doing. And we've got a great show for you today. My name is Jim Burgoon. For all you guys who may be new to me, or maybe you've been around for a while, maybe you do know me, but my name is Jim Burgoon. I am the founder of the Everyday Leader. And today we're going to do something a little bit special. We're going to talk about personality. We're going to talk about what makes people tick. We're going to talk about how you can leverage that personality in order to lead, in order to create more sales, in order to create greater connection, in order to create all of these nice little great goodnesses that you want in your life, but you didn't know how to do it before. And today we're going to actually talk about that. And we're going to jump into this and talk about what I love to talk about, and that's DISC personality typing. And let's go ahead and hit this up. So we're going to hit this up here. Oh, we're still learning some of this system. There we go. Where we go. So it's so grateful to see Mark. Good to see you. Good to see you. Thanks for joining in with me. And I'm telling you what, bro, I still love the background too. And we're going to increase this and create better opportunities. So guys, thank you so much for being with me. So today we're going to jump right into this, to DISC opportunity, or not the opportunity, but DISC personality. Talking about DISC personality profiling, and how that can make you a better leader. But so you want to ask, the thing is, why DISC? What DISC? You know, what is this all about? Because there's many types of personality types out there, personality styles, personality tests. You know, you got the Myers-Briggs guys, you got the Enneagram guys, and then you got us DISC guys. Which one is better? Which one makes the difference? Which one should you go and actually put yourself into and study more? How can you use it for business? How can you leverage it, right? Well, I'm going to tell you, with DISC, it's my personal favorite. Now, I do all three. I don't know where 4 came from, but all 3. And out of the 3, this is my favorite because this has the most practical use. Because I'm going to tell you, as a Myers-Briggs guy, I've studied some of that. I love to be able to figure out the personality theories. I don't know about you, but I love how that all works out into the ways people tick, the ways people think, the way people act, and all those things. Enneagram is just like that. It goes into the deep personality theories. Where DISC, the beauty thing about DISC is it actually goes into the communication and behavioral styles of people. So you don't need a full degree in order to learn how to do DISC. You don't need years and years of studying in order to leverage it in your sales, in your business, in your home, or your church. Today, after this particular show, you'll be able to have a deeper understanding and get out there and actually use the things I'm going to show you today. But so why DISC? It's because it's patterns, guys. This is all about patterns. We want something that's quick, that's powerful, and shows us patterns. It shows us how we communicate, and it shows us behavioral tendencies, right? And this isn't even getting into the whole extrovert, introvert, feeler, perceiver, sensory, not sensory. This is be able into a single conversation, into a single place where you and I are having these conversations, right? And we can have this like 2, 3, 4, 5-minute conversation. And all of a sudden, I know within a few questions of the things you talk about, how you carry yourself, in which level or which DISC model you actually fit in. Because everybody has a primary and everybody has possibly a secondary. but your primary is generally so strong, it's what drives you, right? So if you can understand behavioral patterns, right? If you can understand how this truly can be leveraged, guess what? Relationships will improve. I bet you would love for you guys who are listening to really get a better understanding of your spouse. You'd love to be able to have that dream relationship that you've always wanted. Well, this is one way to do it. Maybe you're leading at a church. Maybe you're somebody who is sitting there and say, you know what, I'm leading people, whether it be at a church or a business. How do I get into these places where I'm leading people better? Well, if you understood how your personality is and then how your personality interacts with other personalities and how they interact with you, guess what? You have the ability to decrease conflict, increase connection, and be able to come to a place where you're at a place to be healthy, wholesome, and moving forward in direction, in unity, in vision, and all these things because you understood the patterns of people. Right? You understood the patterns of people. So therefore you understand how to move forward in it, guys. So here's the thing. So that's like why DISC, right? So we talk about why. Those are some of the reasons why. And I really will tell you guys, understanding DISC, you could, in a matter of a second, not seconds, maybe a minute, I'll give it a minute, you could figure out somebody's personality. If you were an Enneagram or a Myers-Briggs guy, man, like I said, I love both of those systems, but you can't figure that out in a matter of moments in order to sell somebody something. You can't figure that out in a matter of moments in order to increase or decrease, conflict. This takes time. I mean, I took the test. I'm an ENFP for you Myers-Briggs guys. I'm an Enneagram 7 for you guys, who understand that. But on a DISC, I'm a high I. On a DISC, I'm an energy guy. I'm like, I have energy. I'm relational. I'm outgoing. I want to be in the limelight. That's an I personality. We're going to dive into that a little bit in a minute. And then I'm going to show you how you can quickly take just a quick discovery method on how to figure out yours pretty quickly without a test, although we don't call them tests, we call them indicators, but how we can take it to the next level in order to get you to the depths of understanding all of this stuff. So here's the thing. When you understand patterns of people, you understand how to reach them. I'm at hashtag wisdom bomb. These are my wisdom bombs, guys. If you have never seen my wisdom bombs, if on Facebook, on some of the other platforms, wisdom bombs is something I drop every day. Wisdom bombs. So you want to understand the patterns of people, guys. And you just really come to this place where if I'm armed with understanding your pattern, if I'm armed understanding how people communicate, how people receive, how people behave, then guess what? Home, business, church, or anywhere I engage people becomes healthier. It becomes this place where I'm much more healthier in my interactions. And I think that's really what you and I want. We want higher interactions. We want more conversions, and we want to be a leader worth following. Well, this is one thing that you can do in order to be that person. So let's jump in and just talk about why. What are some reasons? Number one, you become more self-aware. Number one, you become more self-aware. Listen, in leadership, I want you to lean in on this one off the screen for a second. I want you to lean in for a second, and I want you to listen to this. If you're going to be a leader worth following, this is what the heart of this show, this is the heart of this organization at The Everyday Leader. If you're going to be a leader worth following, then you've got to become very self-aware. You've got to become understanding of your strengths, of your talents. You got to be understanding of what triggers you and what makes you happy. You got to understand what makes your impact and what makes you significant and what's the difference. And in order to be a leader worth following, it's that self-awareness piece. It's coming to a place where you and I are becoming more self-aware. So one of the ways we do that is we get in and we dive into how God designed us. How were you uniquely designed in your personality to communicate? How were you uniquely designed in your personality to behave? What are the patterns that you generally show in this world? When I know those, I can tell you my strengths and I can tell you my weaknesses. I can tell you how I interact with certain personality types and how I interact with other personality types and what is the healthy way of doing that and what is the not so healthy way of doing that, right? So the first thing we want to do is become more self-aware. And guys, I just want to remind you guys as we dive into these, if you have any questions, guys, I'll answer the questions live. just ask them. This is an interaction time that I want to be able to get in your questions and get to know you better and build the community around leadership development and understanding personality and how that leverages in your life. Because I want you to be a leader worth following. Because here's what I know. Guys. If you're a leader worth following, you're somebody who's going to increase their influence, their impact, and their income, right? Because leaders who are worth following have people who follow them. And I believe that's you. So ask your questions live if you have any of them. And today, for you guys who are just coming in and tuning in, we are actually talking about DISC personality profiling and indicators. So we're just going on to a quick, rapid fire in this show today so that we can go deeper in further shows. So with that being said, let's go back to our conversation about self-awareness and stuff. And in that conversation, I want to be able to give you a understanding of what comes next. And we're working on learning how to do some of this stuff. You know what? Technology is what it is, right, guys? So we're having fun with this. Here we go. This is what it is. Still learning the system. That's okay. I'm going to be doing what I do, and I love for you hanging out as I learn the system as well. So here's the thing. Number 2, if you're in with us and you're taking notes, this is the second thing you want to know: why you want to be a leader worth following, why you want to know DISC personality profiling, especially as a tool in your tool belt, is because it's next level communication. It's next level communication, right? Because if I know your communication style, if I know your ability, if I know how you receive, then I can actually blend my way of communicating with yours. So let me do this real quick, because I have one of my good friends and brothers is Rick Berman, and I'm so grateful for you to be here. Thank you for coming in here over on Facebook over there. And he says he's coming in from Atlanta Fish Mart, but he actually said this. He said, I'm definitely know that I'm an S personality. And as we get into this conversation, we're going to learn what each personality type, but I want to show you next level communication just at a glance, because I know this, and he knows this. I'm an I. I'm energetic. I'm outgoing. He's an S. He's more reserved. He's more laid back, right? So if you're going to be all you S's out there, and there are 69% of the population in this whole world is an S or some form of an S, IS, CS, all those things. But guess what? If you're going to go next level communication, then you know that as a high outpouring guy, as a high outgoing, high impact, high energy guy, when I talk to an S, I want to go back. I want to say, it's wonderful that you're with me today, Rick. I appreciate you. I'm grateful for your friendship, and I'm grateful that you're tuning in today, because you make this show so much different because your presence was welcomed here. Now, guys, I want to show you that, and that's an absolute truth, because every time my brother shows up, I get encouraged because he's a natural encourager. But what did I do? I lessened my tone. I lessened my stride. I slowed down a little bit so that he can receive it in a better way. It's next level communication, and we'll go into that in a minute. But here's something else, guys. Let me do this before I go into number 3. I actually want to show you what each of the styles are, because I believe this will be really, really helpful. So the DISC personality styles is broken into 4 styles. 4, count them, 4. DISC, super simple, super easy, super straightforward. Your Ds. If you are a D personality, and if you hang it with me, I'm going to show you a quick method on how to discover that. If you're a D personality, you're decisive. You're a driver. That was the word I would use, the driver. You could be impatient, but you're strong-willed. You're direct. But you know what? You know how to delegate, and you know how to take charge, and you know how to lead. If you're a high I personality, I'm a high I, guys. That means it's sociable. I love it. I'm excitable, man. I get excited over the craziest things, man. Like, I just so get excited. Talkative. Like, when I get going, it's hard to not let me talk a lot, because I love talking a lot, and I'm super open. You ask me questions, I'm an open book. We'll go there. And S personality is calm. They're sincere. They're laid back, maybe a little bit shy. One of the most patient personalities you will ever meet. And your high C's, which is, my wife is a high C, and she is and she fits this precise, logical, a little bit quiet, but systematic, right? These are your 4 basic personalities, and each one of these personalities has a strength, right? And each one of these have a demand on their lives that this is what they're seeking. Like if you're a D right now, if you're a D, you're like, I want it now, right? That's what a D says. D's like, yo, I want it now. Give me the result. Give it to me right now. And I want it fun. If it's excitable, man, I'm there. People, I'm there. S's want assurance. S's want assurance. And C's want facts. They want A plus B equals C every single time. They want facts, right? That's really what it comes down to, guys. So when we think about this and we go into these places where we're getting to a place where we're talking about high-level communication, right? If we're going to talk about high-level communication, then I want to tell you with high-level communication, it comes down to understanding if you're a DISC, how you would be able to communicate with them, like with a D, quick. Let me give you quick, straight to the point. This live could be in 10 minutes if you were dealing with it from a D. And we go a little bit longer. We'd like to talk, but you know what? Have fun with us. Tell us stories. Interact with us. S's, just be friends. Your communication should be soft, should be encouraging, should be very, very loving. And C, just give them all the information they want. All the information they want, all the information they need, because they desire and determine everything about facts, figures, and all those things. That's really the basis of a lot of this, guys. We do have a question. I'm going to pull this up right now from Rick. Rick's asked, my question is, how as an S, right? Because he said he was an S, how to deal effectively with a D. After you explain what the disc is, what are you doing? What you are doing right now? Yeah, I'm explaining to it, and this is what it would be. So as an S going to a D, there's a great question. So we talk about next level communication. You almost have to mirror them, right? If you're wishy-washy, a D no longer takes you serious. That's just how D's are wired. It's not meaning, they're not meaning to be jerks, right? It comes across that way sometimes, but that's not what they're meaning. That's not their heart. They're just quick, they're decisive, and they want to build quickly. So if you come across with a lack of confidence, if you come across with a passivity, they really kind of tune out. So if you're going to talk to a D, you've got to be a little bit more bold, a little bit more self-assured. And when you're communicating with a D, it's coming into a place of saying, here's what it is, here's what I need. So and then you talk about all the stuff after the fact of you give them what they need, what you need, what you're looking for, and how their part is. Then you get into a place where you have a further conversation, but give it straight, give it real, be nice about it, but be at a place where you can just own it and be able to step up and actually have the confidence to say it without feeling like you're going to say something mean or without feeling like there's going to be conflict. Because as an S, everything about an S says, I'm afraid of conflict. However, you've got to work through that because the D is going to push into understanding what's happening, but they want it quick, right? So let's go to number 3. Up. So actually, we have another question. I'll hit the question and then we'll go in. As long as there's questions, I'll hit them up. So do I should be more forceful with a D, correct? It's not about being forceful. This is a great question. All you guys, 69% of people out there are S personalities. And I will tell you this, only like, I can't remember offhand, but I think it's 3% are D personalities or some form of that. So here's the thing. It's not about being forceful. It's about being at a place where you're more confident. Confident is different than forceful. Forceful almost comes across as you want to fight. That's not where you want to be. You want to come across confident and assured that you know what you're talking about, you're not afraid of the conversation, and that you just get straight to the point. That's really where you come in with communication with a D, right? It was a great question. And so when you're going to communicate, be mindful about being forceful, because forceful has that connotation of fighting. And that's not what you want. You want to be out there. You want to be confident, like I said, and you want to be at this place where it's like, no, and this is what he said too, guys, for all you guys watching it. He said, be more confident and direct then. Yes, that's exactly what it's summarized to. More confident, more direct, and you will get further with a D than you ever hoped to, right? So that's really what it comes down to. Thanks for those questions, Rick. Thank you for that engagement, man. Much appreciate you. So let's hit into number 3. What's really cool about number 3 is that you can now predict behavior patterns, right? So if I know how you behave, Like we just talked about it for a minute. D's are very decisive. D's are very out there. D's are drivers. They're going to be right in your face. They're going to be right out there, right? So I know the behavior that's coming. So I don't get caught off guard. And I is going to be talkers. We're going to be exciting. We want to have fun. So you know the behavior that's going to come from it. If you could predict behavior patterns, right, then you understand, number one, you can mimic or not mimic, but you can set your expectations in a way, whether it be your house, your church, your leadership, your business, in a way that says, I understand the person I hired. Here's the expectations I need. And then you help them with the expectations. Or you hire the personality according to the expectations you set. So when you understand behavior patterns, though, so we're going to go a little deeper with this. When you understand behavior patterns, you can actually get into a place where, let's talk about sales. You can get into a place that says, I know a D wants results, so I'm going to be a 5-minute conversation. Here's what I'm going to tell them. I'm going to show them facts, figures. I'm going to show them extreme amount of people who've been successful in this group, who's been successful with this thing, and they're going to make a decision within about 2 or 3 minutes. With an I understand I's personality. So what you're going to do if you're in sales, you're going to come up there and you're going to say, hey, and you're going to say, what do you need? And they're going to tell you everything they need. And then you're just going to say, hey, here's what I have to help you with that need. And S, they want you to be there for long term. They're just going to be there as friends. So they will buy from people they know, like, and trust. They will buy people they're loyal to, build loyalty by building friendships. And then the C, they're going to ask you a dozen questions. But I know this. So if I know this, then I can come in and blend my personality to meet their personality to help them understand what I'm communicating, and then help them understand what they're understanding from me. If you understood what I said, right? That's something. So here's the thing. So you just really get into these predict behavior patterns. Hey, guess what? Here's the other side of this, which is really, really fun and really understanding and really cool, is you get into this place where if I can understand behavior patterns, let's switch over to conflict. If I understand that a D is direct and an S is passive, then when a D is direct, it's not meant as conflict. It's meant as just that's who they are. Then an S needs to come up in understanding that they're not there to truly offend them, but they're there to just help them. Then the S can be in a place where they can build a little bit thicker skin, right? It's all about behavior patterns, guys. If you find the pattern, you find the person. If you find the person, you can actually lead them at greater levels. You can help them grow at greater levels, and you can mimic your sales process to meet the needs that they have based on the patterns that they do. It's real instant. Again, for you guys who just turned in, we're having a DISC conversation for today's show, where we are talking about DISC personality profiling, and we're just going and how to leverage that in your home, your business, your sales, all those things, because there's so many great things that you can do with this. There's so many great things that as you learn, as you grow in this, you find yourself using it more and more. And just for a recap for you guys who are just coming in, and number one, you grow in your self-awareness. If the more self-aware I am, the better leader I am, the better areas of growth I can see. I can also see my blind spots, right? Then the second thing we came in, we understood that we could get into a higher level of communication. If I understand who I am and I understand who you are, I can blend my way into communicating with you in a way that you'll understand and get it. And then the last thing we just talked about, number 3, which we're going to predict behavior patterns. So if I'm at home and I can predict my child's personality type, I can predict what they're going to do. Maybe not every action, but how they're going to react to things, how they're going to get in there. Then I can set the environment for that. If you're in sales, you can actually sell your thing, whatever that is, to the personality style, right? And according to the personality style, you can increase your sales a lot more with conversion levels a lot higher. If you're in leadership, you can use the DISC personality in order to manage your people, putting them in their strengths, helping to keep them mitigated in their weaknesses, and then learning how to grow and how to hire accordingly. And then in conflict management, if I know your communication and behavior style and I begin to share, mimic with that and blend with that, then I can decrease conflict all along. See, and this is just how this rolls, guys. This is where we're running into. And it's a tool. It's only a tool. DISC is not the end all be all. It's a tool we leverage in order to have our business and our lives at better and higher levels, right? And as the last 10 years of studying desk and getting disc certified and all this stuff, guess what? The greater amount of tools in your tool bag, the greater level of success that you have in your life. That's how this rolls. That's how this rolls. The greater level of success that you want, you need greater tools. And disc personality all comes down to that level of tools, right? And you can use it in home. You can use it in business. You can use it in church. You can use it in all of these beautiful things that we do. Anything, basically anywhere that you have people, anywhere that you engage people, you can use disc, right? Anywhere. And yes, maybe you're a Myers-Briggs guy, and yes, maybe you're an Enneagram girl. But here's the thing. Here's what I got to share with you. With DISC, you can actually jump in and understand people within 5 minutes of how they behave and communicate. With Enneagram and with Myers-Briggs, you need to understand personality theory to understand how the personality is set and understand how people act the way they act and why they do what they do and how they do and all that stuff. But wouldn't you love to be able to do in 5 minutes what would take you 5 years to do with the other ones, right? But that's what DISC is all about. That's what DISC is all about. Let's jump into number 4. So number 4, we're going to relate at higher levels. And I've already really kind of had these conversations as we're rolling into this. We're relating at higher levels, my friends, because I want to relate to you. I can blend into you. If you want to relate to me, we meet somewhere in the middle. If I know you're a D, then I know what's going to be important to you. If I know you're an I know what's going to be important to you, right? So if I know that's important to you, then I can blend and I can get into a place where my conversations are increased, where my interaction is now engaging because I'm speaking the language that you understand. I'm speaking the language that you love. I'm speaking the language that makes who you are up. For some of my people that are in the audience, like Mark, who says, I'm a C, like he's a C, he's a high C personality. I would speak to Mark differently than I would speak to Rick. Rick said earlier he's a high S. Mark's a high C. I would speak to different people at different ways. Matter of fact, I would give Mark as much detail as he needed. I would sit there and answer every question that he ever asked. And I'm going to tell you, C's ask a lot of questions. Every single one I would answer. And I would give him as many details as he needed. With an S, I would love on him. I would just encourage them and I would be present with them and show why they're important. And when you understand this, man, you relate at higher levels. I'm going to tell you, what would your marriage look like if you just understand this? If you really, truly understood your spouse, right? What would your business look like if you understood your customer at a higher level? Right? Maybe you get your customer conversion pretty high, but you truly don't understand them on a personality level. What if you understood this, right? What if you put DISC in your back pocket, in your tool belt, and started adding this into your ad copy where you actually have 4 types of ad copy? If you have multiple types of websites, right? And if they took like a quick 5-question quiz that led them to the ad copy that would actually get them to be converting because it speaks to them. What if you were able to do that? What if you were a leader who was just like, I want to be a leader worth following. I want to be a business owner who's worth following, right? That leader type. Then how do I get to these places where people can respect me more? Because I can relate better to people when I understand the people I relate to. Get that one more time, guys. Get that one more time. If you're not writing things down, that would be one thing you want to write down. I can relate to people better when I understand the people that I'm relating to, right? And this is just a journey of self-discovery and discovering others, and then how to apply it. That's really what it comes down to. It comes down to how do I apply this and what are the strengths and weaknesses? And with that being said, let's look at some of the strengths. Let's look at some of the who you are and what you look like, right? Well, for my D's in the audience, if you're a D, you're goal oriented, you're big picture, you thrive in opposition, you take action quickly. You're a guy or a girl that I would love to have on my team as a front runner. You're somebody who's going to get results, right? That is a strength. You make decisions quickly. You make decisions like you don't need tons of information. You go boom, boom, let's move. And then you do it. And then people follow you that way. You know, you can assess things quickly, and you can assess things in a way that just makes sense. And you make decisions with such competence that it's just outstanding. That's a D for you, for the I types. And if you're an I type, or if you're a fellow I type in the audience or watching this on the replay, hit down in there. I would love to know some other I types. I'm an I type, right? We have contagious optimism. We just want to be excitable. We don't want to be. We're just naturally excitable. And our optimism is extreme. Like, we always see a bright lining. We always see a bright future. No matter how dark the day is, we always see the bright future. And we're creative thinkers. Don't give us a lot of details. We love our C people that are in our audience, but that is not who I am. My wife is a high C, right? She's like, detail. And I'm like, I lost you after the first statement. Where am I? I don't know where I'm at, but I love you and all is well, right? Because why? Because it's too many details overwhelm eyes. We don't like a whole lot of detail. We just want to feel it through. We're feelers. We're like, I don't feel like that. It's not how I feel, you know? And you're like, but empirically it's boom, 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 boom. It's not how we wired. We're problem solvers, but we're creative problem solvers, right? And we're energetic. When you get around an eye, you know you're around an eye because there's a lot of energy that comes off them. So for you S types, all in the audience, S types, right? For you guys, much love to you S types. You're the most loyal people in history. Like, if you ever want a friend who'll never leave you, you need an S in your life. It's just plain and simple. If you want a friend who will never leave you, you need an S. They are the greatest volunteers in the world. They're the greatest servants in the world. And all they want to do is make people happy. That's all they want to do is make people happy. And they're some of the best team members to ever have, because their level of teamwork is amazing. Because they're so amicable, because they're so peace and harmony, because they're so loyal, because they nurture the culture, because when they're loyal to you, they'll stand by you. Because of that, they will serve in the places they need to serve at such high levels. They are the most dependable people you will ever have in your life. You need an S in your life. You don't have an S in your life, go get an S. Just go get an S. Because everybody needs an S, right? I'm an I, we'll have fun, but you need an S because they'll love and hug on you. And then the last one is a C. For all you C types, this is analytic and planning galore. Your risk assessment. And that, when I say risk assessment, we're just like boom, you're just like boom, 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 because you take all the information in and then you evaluate it, and boom, you know which way to go after many questions, many details. That's who you are. Now, I'm going to tell you, I need more C's in my life. As a matter of fact, when I hire my VA, that's going to be a C-type VA, because I need somebody who's orderly, organized, and are able to do systems, because that is not a skill of mine, right? That is not one of the I personality skills. So we need C's in our lives to make everything systematic. Now, an I can follow a system, but an I can't create a system that's worth much, right? Because a C are the systematic people who create systems, and they're good systems. And their organizational skills are bar none. So let's look at some of these comments down here. So Caleb, my friend, thank you for joining the show. Grateful that you're here. He says, I'm an ISC in that order. Matter of fact, I will tell you, just as a side note, Caleb, an ISC in Discworld is actually known as a FOSS-D, right? So and what that really means is that you are somebody who is one of the most perfect managers out there. You can make decisions like a D without having all the hangups of a D, right? And you're fun to be around because you're that ISC. So it's one of the things where you have this incredible ability to direct people, engage with people, and make decisions on high levels because you have that ISC in you. So that just give you that little tidbit right there. Let's see what Rick here is saying. Rick is saying, we just want C's to just get to the point, right? If you're a D, you want a C to get to the point. If you're an S, you will listen to them forever because you don't want to hurt their feelings. So an S don't want to hurt the feelings, so you'll listen to them forever. And I kind of tuned out like 30 seconds into the conversation. And it's not like we want to. It's just like when all the details start flowing. A D just will say, get to the point. Like you'll hear a D say that a lot. If you're a D personality, you'll say to people, get to the point. And when they get around C's, they'll even say it even more. Get to the point. Tell me what you want, right? That is a D statement. I's can make those statements and not be a D only because we just can't stand details. So that's kind of where it goes with that. So great question, guys. So here's what it is. Let's do a quick method of discovery, and then I'll go over to number 5. See, we got the 5 right there. So, but we'll do the quick method. So if you're following me and you want to know the quick method and figure out what you are pretty quickly, I want you to do something for me real quick. If you've got a pen and paper, or you can just follow on the screen. Number 1, draw a cross. This is just do, right? You can even make those sounds because the sounds are like really cool. It's like Star Wars. Pew, 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 right? I am a huge nerd, so you'll have a lot of those things come out. So here's the thing, draw that. So after you're done drawing that, or if you're watching here, then on the top, you're going to put outgoing and extrovert. On the bottom, you're going to put reserved introvert, right? This is a place that we're going to go with this. And this is a quick method on how you can look at you and look at others and pick this out real quick, right? Now, I do tell you, I do offer a full DISC assessment, and where you get a 30-page DISC assessment done for you. It takes 15 minutes to do, and then we actually have a conversation on how to grow, how to communicate, how everything in your life stacks up, strengths, weaknesses, and how to move forward. I do offer that. If you're interested in that, link is in the bio. Link is in the comments. We'll get you at some point. So reserved, introvert, right? So here comes the next part. Now, we're going to put down on the left side, we're going to put task focus. On the right side, we're going to put people focus. Now, I'm looking at left to right. It may be right to left to you, but whatever the picture shows, it's up there. Put it there. Now, see, listen. Now, the questions I've got to ask you, and are you more extroverted, outgoing, or are you more reserved or introverted? Now, this is not something you agonize over. All my C's are like, what am I? What am I? If you're a C, you're an introvert. Okay, you're reserved, right? But here's the thing. It's not something agonize. It's, are you more extroverted and outgoing, or are you more reserved and introverted, right? This is just what it is. Just pick one. And then once you pick that, you got to ask your question, am I more task focused or am I more people focused? Now, all people focused people do task, and all task focused people do engage with people. But the difference is going to be is, where is your primary focus? If given the option, I'm a high I personality, an extrovert, people-oriented person. If given the option of doing task or people, I will never get anything done. However, somebody who is task-oriented will always get the task done first. They have that whole thing called responsibility, right? They do that thing. They get the task done first and then do the people second, right? So if you're going to look at this thing, this is where it comes down to. Depending upon what you just said and looking at the people that you're around, extrovert, introvert, people, or task, guess what? You can decide where, like real quick, where you generally fall in. Now, you will have a primary, secondary, but this is where you generally fall in, right? In your styles. So in the comments, what is, for those guys who haven't said already, I know Mark said earlier he's a C, and Caleb, he's an ISC, and Rick said he's an S. Thank you guys for hanging out. But if you just learned and discovered what you may be, then drop it in the comments and let's see what some of those results were. So guys, this is a quick method to just really be able to get into a place to where you're able to determine yours, determine others, and then we take it deeper. Because again, it comes back to that whole point that we talked about, our first point, which was self-awareness, right? Let me just hit back that slide so you guys, because I'm super visual. I don't know about you guys, but I'm a super visual guy. So I want to make sure that we do the visual things. So the first thing that we talked about way back when was self-awareness. So I just gave you a quick method on how to become self-aware. So if you want to go deeper in your self-awareness, then that takes, let's have a conversation, you and I, so I can take you on that next step, right? But here's the thing, guys. So if we talked about next level, we talked about those things. Let's go into number 5, right? And number 5 comes down to simply how you sell and how you lead. You can do it better, right? Know how to sell and lead better. Because if I can communicate better, if I can relate better, I can lead better, and I can sell better, right? And guess what? Everybody thinks selling is a dirty word. Selling is not a dirty word. Selling is in the Bible. Selling is an incredible word that I think, and here's what I think, guys, that if you believe, all my entrepreneur friends out there, if you believe that you have your product is life changing, if you believe that your thing, whether it be information or whatever that thing is life changing, will help a lot of people, then selling is an ethical thing that you must do. Because if I'm going to be somebody who sells, then I'm understanding that I'm giving somebody with the exchange of value for money, but I'm exchanging this in a way that says I have something that's so life-changing, so amazing, and it's so high value that I would be selfish if I didn't give it to you. So all you guys who are struggling with the concept of sales and the concept of money, you and I need to have a conversation. Maybe I'll do a live on that one too. But here's the deal. Selling is a great thing. But when you don't understand how somebody operates, when you don't understand how somebody receives, then you may use your personality against somebody else's personality and not realize that the two don't go together. You may be a high C person trying to sell, and you're giving all these details to an I personality who tuned you out and isn't going to buy. You may be somebody who is a high D who is just straight to the point, where 69% of the world is high S personality who high Ds. If you're up there just being straight to the point, you put S's a little bit on the offensive. Okay. So you want to pull back. You want to pull back. But this is just getting into the depths of understanding people. The same thing with leaders, guys. The same thing with leadership. How I communicate, how I behave, how I need you to behave, how I need you to communicate is all within understanding their personality and my personality and how we interact. Every conflict I've ever been in has generally, not every, I'll say like 95% of the conflict I've been in is personality conflict. Every bit of it. Because they hear something different than the way I'm communicating it. Or maybe they communicate something in the way that I hear it differently. And I'm going to tell you, if you really think about it, 95% of your, and this is just what I felt over the last 20 years of doing this, 95% of your conflict management comes down to the fact that your personalities are clashing. The other 5% is because somebody did something dumb, or somebody did something unethical, or somebody did something crazy that is just awful. But that 95% is generally just personality and not understanding your personality, how you interact, how you behave with the world, and then not understanding their personality and how they interact and how they behave in the world, right? And so when you understand that, when you get into these places, I can lead better, I can become a better salesman, I can become better at what I do. So as I want you to stick around for a few more minutes, and any other questions, please drop them in the comments. But here's what it is. Boom. So the key number one to this is, the greater your understanding, the greater your application. You can never apply what you do not understand, right? You can't apply what you don't understand. So if you want your church to grow, if you want your business to grow, if you want more sales, if you want a healthier marriage, if you want healthier relationships, then you need to dive deep. You're going to want to dive deep into DISC personality profiling, because here's what it does. Again, if it just helps you bring that self-awareness, understanding behavior patterns, understanding communication patterns, so that I know how I can interact with you so that you have a great experience and that you are able to come up the level so that we can have this real melding of a conversation. And if you want those things to get better in your life, you need to dive in and study people. You need to understand yourself, and you need to understand people. And the second key, guys, when we get in here, the second key is this: increasing your understanding and self-awareness causes explosive growth. Let's take a moment of silence for that. Let's just think about that, because here's the thing. If you want to grow, if you want to get into a place where you're growing explosively, that momentum, that place where, and this is not just financial growth, this is health of your mindset, your mentality, your weight loss process, whatever it is. It's understanding and having self-awareness, my strengths, my weaknesses, how I interact with the world, how I interact with my coaches that I hire, how the people I coach interact with me. If you want to grow beyond a shadow of a doubt to a place where you're getting customers, you're getting clients, you're getting better relationships and all these things, it's increasing your own personal self-awareness. Because growth happens when I am able to bridge the gap between my design and the people I have influence with, their design. When those gaps get bridged, then we have growth. Then we have growth, guys. That's really what it comes down to, gentlemen, ladies. Thank you guys for hanging out with me today. If you have any questions, if you have any things that you'd like to share, stories, I want to hear them. I want to hear questions and all that stuff. Again, if you're just joining in with us, we do this every Friday live at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is the Everyday Leader Live, and then we also upload videos to the channel weekly so that you could become the leader worth following, guys, because that's the biggest thing on my heart, is helping you to be the leader worth following in whatever area that you're leading in, whether it be your business, your home, your church, or any of those areas. Guess what? You are a leader, and I want to give you the skills, the tips, and the challenges to be the leader. God designed you to do that. So if you can do me a favor, if you're over here on YouTube, or if you're on Facebook and want to come over to YouTube, hit the like and hit the YouTube, hit the subscribe button, hit bell for notifications. If you're over there on Facebook, do me a quick favor. Go ahead and hit the share button and hit the remind so you can see whenever I come live. Make sure you hit me the follow over there. And again, what we do here every week is we answer questions. I have trainings. We drop leadership nuggets, and I try to build a community with you guys and ladies, because I believe in you. I love you. And if there's no other questions, no further anything else, guys, one last thing I want to share with you in the last minute and a half of what we got left to do is, guess what? If you would like to take the next step of that journey, if you would love to learn more about DISC, other than the 5-minute quick thing, and get into where you get a 30-page explanation of all your strengths, your weaknesses, how you interact with the world, your growth points, what you look like, all of those things, in order to learn how you can grow your business and learn how you can sell more, and learn how you can actually lead better at your home, your work, your church, all of those places, then there is a link in the description. And a matter of fact, I will also put a link in the description on Facebook for you guys as well. And all I want you to do is just follow the link, and you'll see. And once that comes up, you have the option to schedule a 15-minute free call with me, right? There's a couple of links that'll come up with my link tree, but you can look through them. But the thing is let's schedule a 15-minute call, and let's see if we can go from there. So guys, this has been the Everyday Leader. I'm so grateful for each and every one of you guys being with me, and I will see you next Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And again, in my description, here's the other thing. In the description, you can also ask in the comments. You can ask any questions. I may handle that live on the next show. Talk to you guys later.